Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Monkey Hero. As you can see, we finished our Heavensward. We are moving into Stormblood now. And just like we did with Heavensward, we're going to start with the trailer for Stormblood. I hope you get us pumped for it, as I know we were. This expansion basically set up everything that the game is now. And what I mean by that is job gauges and reworkings of every single class. It changed the combat. It changed a lot of the things in the game that you've already seen, but that wasn't how it was when we played it. So anyway, I digress. Let's watch the trailer. Let's get going on Stormblood, and let's get pumped. Are you ready? Here we go. Stormblood. Let's do it. God, I love this fucking trailer too. And there's the Warrior of Light in his monk outfit. And, oh, our friend Lisa's here with us. Remember, we always change. We went from, well, I told you Bard in the original that you're never going to see. Warrior in 2.0. We were a Dragoon last time. And this time, we actually have two different classes. And the first one is Monk. That is Alamigo. Been hearing about it since the beginning. We're finally there, but that's not all. Oh, there's Garlemald. We get to go to Authored, over here to Doma, to the east. And here's our other job, which is also the new one of the two new jobs for the expansion. And that is ooh, Samurai. It's like Gosetsu been training people. Welcome to Kugane. There you go, Setsu and Nagiri. Alrighty. Let's get on in there. Got our new entrance screen here. So good. My other characters. I'm old Greg. Poisonous candy. Alright. Let's get back in there, man. Alright, we're back in. Let's do a little stormblooding.
The question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lys. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lys's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course I am. You know I'd like nothing more.
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
As if you have to ask.
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well.
I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things. I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations. Ready, my friend? Well then, Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
Mistress Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Abania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamegan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
Then let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant's toll stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Kozetsu and I to return to our master, to our home.
I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. Let all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate, together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
1,000 moms apart, yet united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavors meet with success. Shall we then? Wait. Not just yet. I knew I'd forget something important. Lise, could you come with me? Me? What now? All right then, if you insist. Damn, Lise be looking hot. What do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as a science receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. It's lovely, Tataru. Thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. I'm glad you like it. And with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels. Then onward to Abania. Our first stop will be at Amarix's Spire in the East Shroud. Those two ice ponies are playing catch tag. Whatever. I was just looking for something new before we go in for this cutscene. I don't like the way that looks. I don't have any of those anyway, but let's see. 36,000. All right. Well, let's go. We're ready. We're ready for our entrance into Alamigo. Question is, are you guys ready for the entrance into Alamigo? All are present and accounted for. When you're ready, my friend, pray inform the officer that we wish to proceed into Abania. I would like to go into Abania, please. Let's go. Man, years to get here in real life. For you guys, not quite as long, but just take it in.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Abania once more. Me and my fellow scions, the warrior of light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
We did it. Look at this. There it is. Empty maps, no flying. Got our compass again. Let's go, guys. You know what it's like, beginning of the expansions. Greetings, Scions. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castor Morians. Thank you, General. We are relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Have the Imperials made any attempt to retake the castrum since then?
None. Save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols. We've barely had any contact with them. But we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Baelsar's wall weren't enough, Ilbert summoned a primal right on their doorstep, and Garlemald is not likely to let such shows of defiance go unanswered.
It was a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilbert's to make. Now we are bound by it, for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. What would you ask of us?
As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed without the support and cooperation of the Alamigan people. We would have you serve as emissaries and make contact with the Resistance.
Consider it done, General. We won't let you down, I swear.
Then I'll leave you to it. Godspeed.
Ha! Of all the castrum in all the world. Master Garland, what brings you here? A certain missing Allagan weapon and draconic primal. Omega and Shinryu. I think the shinobi called it. Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do.
Then it's like Omega fell to the earth in occupied territory, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands.
Even so, it bears repeating that we engaged the stasis systems. Assuming the command was received and executed successfully, the weapon will be of no use to them. assuming we should hurry up and find it regardless.
All the more reason to reach out to the Resistance. If we want to press on into Abania, we'll need their blessing.
Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. As you probably heard, there are plenty of factions in the Resistance, so I'm taking us to see one with the most influence. The headquarters is located at a place called Rhalgr's Reach, an old temple to the east of here, across the Velladina River. I learned a route that should allow us to avoid Imperial patrols. Stick with me, and we'll be there before you know it. Oh, my voice is a little strained. I haven't done one of these in a while. Always talk to the Joker keeps. We found our first Aether Current. Still with me? Good. From here, we'll head northeast towards the river. The water's not too deep, so we won't have to swim. I wonder if they lowered the number you need here too. Yeah, 4 finds, 5 quests. They've lowered a lot. Oh, that's an A rank. Hunt. There's someone fishing over there. I don't see any soldiers. Good, let's cross. You're wondering about that tower to the south? Oh, it's foggy, so it's a really shitty picture. It's part of Castrum Velladina. That's what the Imperials decided to call the old bridge after they fortified it. I call it the Great Big Eyesore. Honestly, you can see the rotten banner from absolutely miles away. They never miss a chance to rub our noses in it, do they? Come on, we should keep moving. We're here. On the other side of this pass is Rhalgr's Reach. So you say, but all I see are rocks. I presume there's some sort of trick to this. Indeed, a glamour. Good eye, Ishtola. I take it they have a talented mage in the ranks, or mayhap an artificer trained in the modification of glamour prisms. Something like that. The important thing is that it fools the Garleans. Oh, before we go in, I don't know if Tataru told you, but my friend Nago, the messenger who came to the Rising Stones, is a member of this faction. So, they know us, and they shouldn't attack us on sight. That said, they can be a bit jumpy, so let me lead the way, and, don't go reaching for your weapons or anything. And with a sprinkle of demasking dust, all is laid bare. And this is Rhalgr's Reach. This is the city from the first part of the trailer where they're fighting in the hand. That statue is here. It is also the Alamegan hub, kind of like Idleshire was, so it is the one that doesn't have like a market board and stuff. And then, of course, Kugane being the Doman hub, which you also saw from the trailer.
I remember the old stories. How the Breaker of Worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Rhalgr's Reach, a holy place, and a fitting home for the Resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
Hey, Conrad.
You'll forgive us our precautions, but we shouldn't be... We couldn't be sure who had crossed the barrier. We now see who you are, though, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Now, I know you would have not come all this way unless you had something important to discuss, and I'm eager to hear what it is you have to say. But let us not do this on our doorstep, eh? Come with me.
Alright, so what is the first thing we always do in a new city? We attune to the Aethernet system. Because if you don't, you will have to walk around a very long way, and that sucks. Seems like they changed these too, because there used to be one up there at that dungeon. At the Temple of the Fist up there. This, by the way, is an extra dungeon. It's not part of the story. It's post. While I'm doing this, let me go ahead and go over how Stormblood's going to be a little bit different. We will have the main story, which we're doing first, obviously. Makes most sense, right? Main story. You have your 24-man raid series. And you have your 8-man raid series. 8-man raid series is going to be dealing with Omega. So unfortunately, if you're looking forward to that right off the bat, we're not going to find any more out about Omega or Shinryu until the end of the main story here. The main expansion, the climb from 60 to 70. Although we're going to get 70 long before that, I'm sure. So... yeah, that will be then. But there's also a place called Eureka. Eureka is, I remember if you talked about Kryl early on in the story, before we met her, that her and the students of Baldessian had went missing and their island vanished, and the Eureka series is what they did the relic quests in. but it's also a story of that, and it's a very damn good story. And it makes a lot of sense, and we'll need that story as well as 24-man to do the relic and side story content for Shadowbringers, right? Yes. So it all will connect. So from now on, really most of the stuff we will be doing. All right, here we go.
Allow me to welcome you once more to Rhalgr's Reach, our humble headquarters. My name is Conrad Kemp, and I have the dubious honor of overseeing operations here.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Master Kemp. I am Alphino Leveilleur of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, as are my comrades. Before I speak of our purpose here, pray allow me to thank you for sheltering Ida, forgive me, Lys, and Papalimo at great risk to yourselves.
No, there's no need for that. They risked their necks for us enough times. 'Twas the least we could do.
I wanted to, I mean, about the mask and...
Don't fret over that. You're not the first person to take up arms against the Empire under a false name. We'd do the same if we had any sense. My condolences for your loss, child.
Papalimo laid down his life to save us, to give us a chance to make a better future for ourselves. There will never be a better time to drive the Garleans from our lands. But we have to take the lead on this. We can't leave it to fanatics like Ilberd.
More than a few of our people were taken in by his promises. Followed him all the way to the wall. Good men and women who never came back. When Monago told us what had happened, how the bastard had made sacrifices of them for his twisted ritual, by Rhalgr it filled me with an unholy fury. But what's done is done. Best we can do now is see that it wasn't all in vain.
That is why we are here today, sir, to see that some good comes of this tragedy. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, we do hereby extend a formal offer of military assistance to the Alamegan resistance.
Do you now? Well, go on then. I'm sure there's more to it than that. So that's the way of it, eh? The Alliance, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation with the superior forces of the Empire, wishes to engage them by proxy with our vastly inferior ones. My comrades and I must confer on your proposal. A moment, if you please.
Of course, Master Kemp. Take all the time you require.
So, it would seem we find ourselves with a surfeit of free time. Surfeit.
Ah, forgive me.
You are free to look around Rhalgr's Reach. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It will give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Thank you, Master Kemp. I believe we will do just that. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance's capabilities. Free to poke our noses wherever we will, eh? I like the sound of that. Well, I already know the place inside out. I can show you around if you'd like, Monkey. Sure. Great, let's get started. I bet you think the Resistance is mostly made of Alamegan Highlanders like me, but the truth is, we don't even account for half. We've got Hell's Guard from all the way over by the Spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Nago. There's even some Beastmen. Well, Beastwoman, I suppose. Like that one over there, she's Ananta. They've been with us for a while now. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We're no different from the Garleans to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their free time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magics to twist metals and crystals into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's a pity people hardly ever get to see their work. But then, most don't even know they exist. That's enough about them anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Rhalgr, shall we? Pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it? The Breaker of Worlds, who guided our ancestors to these lands all these centuries ago. Edie used to tell me the story on stormy nights. She wanted me to understand, to remember. At the end of the 5th Astral Era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across Eorzea beseeched the heavens for a sign. And lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky, and led the way to these mountains of Abania. They who were saved by his grace pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works within, without, and within. A storm of blood approaches fast, hell's open, heavens weep, for no soul doth lie beyond the measures of his reach. The last part was inscribed on the stone by a monk of the Fist of Rhalgr. Ida explained it to me. A day will come, bringing strife and sorrow, and none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong the body and mind. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, but if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that has led us to this point, will see us through in the end. Sorry. That was a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary. Nanta. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. Here's where the Resistance healers patch up the wounded and tend to the sick. No matter how carefully we plan our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. We should go. I know I'll show you the Aetheryte Plaza next. When you've seen one Aetheryte, you've seen them all, right? Not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades, to when the Fist of Rhalgr was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as the others. I'll show you when the Sutlers are next, where the Sutlers are next. But don't forget to attune to the Aetheryte before we go. Man, I've already done all that stuff, come on. By the way, if you hear a piano in the back, I'm sorry. That's my daughter goofing around on her piano and being very loud, even though I've asked her twice to stop. She got it for Christmas. It's brand new, so I'm not going to be too angry. Arms, armor, and potions. You name it, these folks have got it. The Resistance would be in a bad way without brave merchants to keep it provisioned. In short, if you're short on anything, or you need something repaired, these are the people to speak to. Oh, Alphino and Alce are here. Why don't we see how they're getting on? Come to the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants. They're a bold lot, that much is plain. If the Imperials found out they were peddling their wares to the Resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. 'Tis a gamble, and I admire their courage, but their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. We finished discussing your proposal, and we're ready to receive you all back at the tent. I've sent someone to fetch you stolen Kryle, so if you'd like to follow me.
Thank you all for waiting. We have reached a consensus. I, Conrad Kemp, do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance. But the Resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rhalgr's Reach. Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree. But it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall. We've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Well, there's no shortage of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Ishtola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
I had something else in mind for you lot. Monargo and Methrid will tell you more.
Understood. We won't let you down.
Just realized I was muted there towards the end, so I will say this again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're here. We're in Rhalgr's Reach. We have 2 quests left. We are going to, yeah. We're going to pick up right where we left off here in a little bit, but this is our introduction to Stormblood. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I hope you guys are. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.